disheveled. Wonder what happened there. I do not know. I do not know. I do not know, you see. Hi. I mean, Whistlespeak, everyone. All right. Well, welcome back, guys. What's up? How's it going? Captain Foley here. Don't know if you knew that. That's my name. Don't wear it out. How is everybody? Trekyardians here. Joseph Barbato, Joe Brown, Shayla Kumar Productions. Feed Me Seymour, Ozzy. Hope you're a good, Cap. I mean, been better, been worse. My hair is really all messed up there. It's fine. No one will notice unless you point it out. Joseph says, I don't know how I feel about this one. I want to say worst this season so far, but I did like some parts of it. The twist that they thought you had to sacrifice people for rain is wild. I didn't find that as a twist. I actually saw that like right away. Like the person that wins this race is going to die. But yes, yeah. I don't have a lot to say about this episode, honestly. So this hangout's gonna be 5 minutes long. I don't know. It was a perfectly serviceable episode of Star Trek. Good for Discovery, but a letdown for the season. But it very much felt like a TOS episode. It felt like a TOS themed episode. Like that's exactly what you would see in a TOS episode. Just replace Burnham with Kirk and replace Tilly with McCoy, and that's what you'll get. I don't know. It was fine. It's fine. Cool new tech. Tricorders just in the eye. Super bright so everybody can see. But anywho's, what else happened? Rainier was great. Adair was all right. The Colbert stuff was, it was fine. It's fine. Yeah, the Colbert book stuff was all right. I didn't mind that. Stamets was pretty good in this one. I think Raynor was the standout again for me, though. Tilly did a pretty good job in this one. Burnham as well. But overall, it's just sort of kind of meh, you know? It's all right, isn't it? It's all right. It's fine. Joe Brown reminded me a bit of the season 2 episode where series people find out they're being slaughtered. Not quite the same thing here, but close enough. Yeah, that's a good point. Shay says, thought this episode was okay, worst of the season so far. Would agree. Joseph says, yeah, good call. On to Joe Brown. Feed Me Seymour, good morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Oh, how is everyone? Chase Williams is here. Hello, sir. How's it going? Maddie Lynn. Hi, Captain and everyone. Hello. Kyle Swinderman. Cap, I missed you the other night on Helldivers. Well, I accepted your friend request on PlayStation, but not on Helldivers because you need to generate a code. So, excited and ambivalent. Project Achieva, straight into spoilers, lol. I haven't watched yet. Trailers make it look boring. I mean, it's not... It's kind of boring, but at the same time, it's a perfectly serviceable Star Trek episode. Like, it's a good Star Trek Prime Directive type episode. So... Olivia, $5. Fleet Paw, remember we Remember, we Trekyards moderators, we trained for this race. You go ahead and win this race. I'll watch you. Don't worry. Good luck. ND Magoo. Parts of it felt like a high school play. The acting was so bad, but I enjoyed it overall, to be honest. Yes. I didn't get the high school play vibe, but sure. Feed me Seymour. I have so many questions, but first, anyone getting a vibe that Kovic is more than he seems? I'm getting a feeling he's either a Q, a traveler, or a temporal agent. I like these ideas. Where'd you get this pad of paper? I'm very resourceful. Yeah. 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 It'll be interesting to see. That'll be a good twist. Libby says, we speak in whistles and apparently rhymes. Okay. Andy Brennan felt very Star Trek. I was happy they were in the real location. Yes. I agree the acting was weird. Feed me Seymour. Where is our Reno? Always better with Reno. Yeah. I would have liked to see Reno again. I mean, I'm sure she'll be in it at some other point in the future. I don't know. I miss her. Booker playing asteroids. Yeah, but it was like he was playing it on a Virtual Boy, one of the old Nintendo Virtual Boys with the red display. It's like, it's fine. Mark Henson says the non-binary character in this episode was a silly character. You inspired me, huh? Why? Made no sense, and she just was one-dimensional. Yeah, I love the whole this planet has three. They recognize three genders, and they refer to them as them or they the whole time. I think that was just to piss off the anti-woke people, which I kind of snickered at a little bit, but it's very Denobulan, I guess. I can see why the Denobulans, saw that these people were similar to them, but yeah, it's fine. Joseph says a TOS episode or a Data on a Planet episode. Yep. Eric says, evening Cap, how is your back? Stiff and sore still, but not shooting pain when I stand up and move. But then again, I've been taking extra strength back medication since the last live I did, 2 a day, 1 in the morning, 1 at night. And so it's still there. I can still feel the tightness. I can still feel pain when I when I get up, and when I'm just starting to stand up straight, it gets quite sore. But well, I just want to open this window. It's a little bit warm in here. Little bit stuffy. There we go. I need to make a note, though, to close the window, because otherwise I'll forget. Perfect. Yep. All right. Brian Adamson. I doubt Burnham believes she was not a god. Yeah, right? Adira is always shoehorned in awkwardly. Although, like I said, I did like the way Rainier was like, you asked to be on the bridge. You're here. I wouldn't have let you be here if I didn't think you could handle it. I love the way that his characters developed, actually. So, good on him. No Queen in this episode, thank God. Project Achieva. Hey, Cap, did you know the actor that plays Rainier also played a second Ray after OG Ray went undercover on Due South? Yes, Ray Vecchio. Yes, I'm fully aware. Sylvia is a huge fan of Paul Gross and Due South. So yes, we did know that. Kyle says, you did. Haha, I was off by that point, but next time, if there's a spot, I'll be there. Cool. Shay says, "How is your back today, Captain? I know it was bothering you last week. Still not good. Still, I mean, it's better. It's, I can still walk, so I mean, that's a positive thing, right?" uh, can I actually do that now? I can add people as moderators again. Excellent. Feed me Seymour. So my COVID theory is that he has felt off ever since introduction in season 3 with his affinity for the archaic traditions of old but being passed off as idiosyncrasies or eccentricity. Yes, they even asked him at one point about his glasses. He goes, I just like them. I like the way they look. Vince's variety channel. Yeah, Virtual Boy Asteroid. Yeah, exactly. Feed me Seymour. So Chekhov's gun. Never put a prop in a scene unless there's a payoff. So Kovich notepad suggests something is up with that, but payoffs are not usually Discovery's best assets. They are not. I was thinking, my God, that's an 800-year-old pad of paper, or 900 years old. No, actually older than that, because it's 21st legal. So it's like, yeah, it's like 1100 years old. Regardless, it'd be like crumpled parchment paper, unless he's a time traveler or has access to the past. Yeah. Legal notepaper is 20th century. Vince's variety channel. Woke up yesterday with a pinched nerve in my shoulder. Feel your pain. Can barely move my arm without shooting pain. Yeah, that was me last week. Actually, a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. I couldn't. I've had a sore back for a while now, is what I'm saying. Although I have been getting outside more with the nicer weather, and I've been doing some stuff outside, cutting the grass and doing things like that, which I think getting up and moving is actually really helping. So it says a lot that we're talking about my back as opposed to the episode. I'm just saying. Maddie Lynn, this episode seems to be the weakest so far for the season. 100% agree. Marco, the thing about this episode was that was strange was that denobulan tech was used to help a pre-warped species. It's a violation of the Prime Directive, and according to Star Trek, Star Charts. According to Star Trek, Star Charts Den Denobulan was a Federation member. Yes, but they addressed that in the episode, that he violated the Prime Directive to help this planet. So, who cares? People violate the Prime Directive every fucking 5 seconds. So, I don't agree with the Prime Directive. Just for the record, I agree with the idea of it, but there are ways to skirt it and get around it that. Anyway, I would make a bad Starfleet captain. Eric Martin, when I'm recovering later this month, I'll have to watch this season of Disco. Yes, indeed. Ozzy, 4 weeks until his super birthday. Foley. Yes, my birthday celebration will be on May 25th, but my birthday is May 28th, so we'll probably do a live Drunkyards on a weekend before that, though. Maybe next weekend, maybe Saturday the 11th, I think is a good time because I don't have anything going on. So if you want to come hang out for a birthday Drunkyards, I'd appreciate that. If you can't make it to my actual shindig in London. But yeah, turn 50. PB Seymour, one small thing that iScanner Burnham has. Again, poor writing perhaps, but it would have made more sense if Saru could see infrared bacteria that they learned to see what's beneath the surface. I mean, it's not an eye scanner. It's their tricorder just with a retinal display. But yes, that would have been what Saru... Actually, it was funny in that episode where you did see the luminescence of the moss that had been in the writing. I thought, man, we're going to miss Saru because of those type of abilities that come in really handy. So Like they learned from Saru and don't have Saru anymore, so they mimic tech to compensate. Just one line to explain that would make sense with no exploration. Why didn't she use that when she scanned in episode 2? Because they didn't have it then. Brian Adamson. It seemed like really they had too many things going on to flesh out the main story. Mark Henson. Maybe Kovic uses a slaver stasis box. Peter Lukaku. I was trying to place Callum Keith Renee. I'm like, I recognize him from somewhere. Like I've met him. Looked him up, IMDb, and realized I was in a movie he's acting in 10 years ago. Met him. Super cool guy. Born to be Blue with Ethan Hawke. Oh, very cool. Who is Callum Keith Renee? Is that the computer? The computer? The lead guy? Head guy? The dad? Kyle Swinderman didn't really care too much about this episode, but I bet Cap loved Tilly in it. Yes and no. Beginning of the episode, fantastic. She even looked phenomenal. End of the episode, again, looked phenomenal. Middle of the episode did her no favors. The lack of makeup and the lighting that they chose didn't work for me. Plus, did you notice they were on the ship talking, blah, 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 blah. Let's go. Beam. Arrive on the planet. She's got a different hairstyle and the facial art. So they can apply facial art and change her hairstyle in mid-transport now? Or did they transport to the transporter room or the makeup room or whatever fucking room they go to? And then I love Mary Wiseman. Don't get me wrong. She looked really good in this episode at the beginning and the end. The middle, not at all. I don't know what was up with that hairstyle. Like, I love curly red hair. I love the kind of disheveled, like, look. Yeah, I like that. But it didn't work for her at all. I'm just saying. Am I being shallow? I mean, maybe, but I'm just telling you what I thought. So, anyway, but I love Mary Wiseman, and it was great to see Tilly actually being Tilly in this. I thought it was fun. I wish they would have tied in. Remember back in season 2 where her and Michael were running around the ship doing like a marathon thing, and the first time we saw the disco shirts, and she won the marathon or something that was mentioned. It would be cool if that was brought up as like, you know, because she says endurance is my thing, or what, I forget exactly what she said. She'd have to have endurance, you know. Moving on. It would have been nice to tie that into this one with the running. You know? Maybe you don't. I know. Anyway. So Tilly, I felt this episode was to reaffirm she is a good teacher, so somewhat an interesting point for the Tilly-led Starfleet Academy series. All Tilly scenes are teaching-centric. Yes, 100%. They're definitely leaning into that. Marco says, I missed that in the episode. What did you miss? Matt Boardman, I wish we'd had gotten a hologram of a Denobulan in like a First Contact. Wow. Yeah, that's very fan fictiony, fan filmy. I mean, I've talked about this before with Sam, and if from the beginning of the season they had shown flashbacks to the time when these relics were hidden, like 800 years ago, TNG era, and we got to meet like all the different scientists, and each episode have a bit of a flashback, so that at the end of the season you could take those scenes and have like a mini little TNG type story, that'd be awesome. But they didn't do that, so okay. Ozzy, shuttle bay door closed from the jump at the end. How did you know that? Because you couldn't see the back of the ship when they jumped at the end. I'm just curious. Vince's Variety Channel. Mine is May 15th, turning 40. Yay. Happy birthday. Peter Kako, $5. I'll come to your birthday, Cap, with a nice cold case of Sleeman Clear. Sleeman Clear? I like Sleeman's, but Sleeman Clear? I've never even heard of that. Is that like clear beer? Because that sounds gimmicky. Like Pepsi Clear, you know? Don't do that. Feed Me Seymour. After Discovery went in the time portal, end of season 2, and how Strange New Worlds dealt with the other worlds, how other worlds saw that, and they broke Prime Directive to fix it. And that is what the directive should be about. Yes, I agree. I know what you're talking about now. First episode of Strange New Worlds. Maddie Lynn, in the Academy show is the Academy show going to be a sequel to Discovery? It seems like Burnham might be part of Academy. I don't think she'll be part of Academy. I think Discovery is going to end this season with her and Book going off together, her like resigning her Starfleet commission, and Rainier getting the Discovery. That way her and Book can be together, Rainier gets Discovery, and Tilly will be on the Starfleet Academy show, which anybody can show up on that show from Discovery at any point, right? So I don't think Burnham's going to be at Starfleet. Feed Me Seymour. So the Tull symbiote, none of them a science or engineering expert that would have shared past knowledge with Adira. It's still in her. Yeah, they've forgotten that it's in there. It's fine. Trek or not, I had one possible technical issue with this one. Didn't opening the door stop the air suckerage and wouldn't the impact of the function on the system, but it still made it rain anyway. Also, the rock console thing gave me Stargate vibes for some reason. I mean, yeah, but they could have opened the room, got them out, and closed the room, activated the thing. We didn't see all that happened afterwards, right? Like they could have still activated the thing. Plus, she actually fixed the console, which maybe, yeah, it didn't need like one powerful like every once in a while. It was more like subtle. It's fine. That's a small thing. That's a really small thing. Look, I can add you as a moderator now. There we go. Trek or not, you're now a moderator. You have a wrench. Kyle Swinderman, I assumed the change was tech stuff in the future instead of having to replicate and change clothes like they have done in the past. Yeah, it's fine. I have no problem with them changing clothes in transport, but hairstyles and applying makeup or taking makeup off in Tilly's case, when she beamed, when she was talking to Michael Burnham in the ready room, my God, she looked good. She had makeup on. She looked fantastic. But that, I mean, technically, with the way a transporter works, yes, you should be able to do that, 100%. So it's not a big. It's fine. It's fine. And Kyle Swinderman, I know you play Helldivers, so do you know about the super samples and the rocks that the super samples are around? You know what kind of rock formation to look for in Helldivers? That was the fucking summit. That was the peak. That was the rock from this episode. There's super samples around that rock. And going back to episode 3, Janal, that one, that was a Helldivers episode too, with the big bugs they were fighting that cloaked, like the stalkers, those fucking stalkers. It's Helldivers, man. Discovery's trying to tell us something. Helldivers, where is that? Australia is not real, just ask a flat earther. She wasn't acting like she was firstly, they made her run 100 meters. She wasn't acting like she was thirsty. Oh. If you have the brain scans and holograms, What other reason would they reference this other than the whole Colbert grammar teaching? But it seems it's that coming back in a big way. Holograms. Colbert grammar teaching thing. I have no idea what is happening right now. Trek or not, this episode felt fan movie to be fair. No, it didn't. I disagree with that. Like I said earlier, it felt like a TOS episode. It felt like a TOS plotline, a prime directive plotline. Maybe I should take your wrench away, Trek or not, for saying things like that. It's just silly. Lots of fan movies with this kind of forest alien tech type situation. Oh, in that regard, yeah, maybe, sure. Because everybody has forests around their house where they film their films, right? Australia's not real, just ask a flat earther. Did the fat redhead fix the other towers? Well, that's incredibly rude. I'm just going to remove that comment. Yeah, no need for that kind of shit here. That's the other thing I wish would have happened is they would have shown the fifth tower at least and shown them actually retrieving the piece. That was not done. And missed opportunity, in my opinion. It would have been cool to see the other 4 of the towers, and maybe they all look alike, they're all same shape, just like the Super Samples rock on Helldivers. Just see them in their areas of the planet, right? That would have been cool to have seen that. But yeah. Thomas says, Foley, my boy, I skipped through the episode because it was so boring. Definition of a bad filler episode. See, when I saw the title for it before I watched it, with it being Whistlespeak, I was like, oh, for fuck, this is going to be a filler episode. And I kind of hate the term filler episode, but, you know, I was concerned about that. And I watched it, and it's like, okay, it is moving the plot forward. It is doing its job. It's not super fillery episode-y, but it's a very standalone type episode. Like, this could be an episode of TNG or TOS. You know, just, you know, that's all. So, really. These dogs, I tell you. When they jump to planet, shuttle bay door closed. When they jump to the planet, possibly. I didn't look, but yes, that there you would have been able to see that the door was closed. Thomas is calling it now. Burnham becomes president, and somehow, some way, becomes the new captain of Discovery. And Rainer is, oh, for fuck's sakes, what is going on? Don't need comments like that either. Space Thing Reckoning. Haven't seen the episode yet. What's the general vibe? Better than the last episode? No. Probably the worst episode of this season, but still good for Discovery. So, Feed Me Seymour. Starfleet Academy probably be Tilly, Stamets, and Luminary. The Luminary. Possibly Colbert, maybe Saru, and recurring guest is my best guess for the show. Trekyard, cool for the Empire. I mean, Trekyards. Joseph says, maybe the ship computers can have transporters now include instant changes when you beam down. I mean, I'd be perfectly acceptable. I'd be fine with that. That would be perfectly acceptable, in my opinion, for 900 plus year tech transporter tech. So, yeah, I guess. Oh no, Trekyard is from the Mirror Universe. Feed Me Seymour. It makes sense for Stamets to be in Starfleet Academy. He's Luminary. He's Project shelved. His mission will probably end with the ending of this season. So where do you put a great mind like this? Well, see, that's the thing. I think him and Colbert are 2 sides of the coin and one part of the puzzle for the progenitors. Colbert is clearly the spiritual aspect, and Stamets is the scientific or the technological side. And I've said before, I have a theory that the mycelial network is what the progenitors might have used to seed the entire galaxy with humanoid life, because it connects to all points, right? So when they find the progenitor tech, Stamets is going to have a very clear understanding of it, and now Culber will, and it's all part of the progenitor's plan because of Janal and doing the Trill ritual where he's got the spiritual aspect and the technological aspect. Because in this episode, the guy said to Burnham, "Does that mean gods don't exist?" And she's like, "Well, no, it just means that we also exist." I don't know if your gods exist. I love that answer. And each of these clues has been a lesson or um, a test, if you will, to see how they would, handle a species entirely different from themselves. How they would, cultural context was one of them. So I think it's going to come down to technology and spirituality, and it's going to be both in Culber and Stamets. And one of them, or maybe both of them, but one of them is going to probably have to sacrifice themselves for some reason. I would guess Culber. Just putting that out there now. Don't know if it's true, but Kyle says, if you look for the Dick Rock, haha, and yes, Helldivers keeps creeping into Trek. How did they get that info so soon? Haha. I guess as somebody that worked on Discovery also worked on Helldivers, because Helldivers didn't come out till way after Discovery was finished filming, so. Maddie Lynn says, episodes seem to not move forward. The episode seemed to not move forward with the clues, but it did. If you looked at Kovach's pad, he had the names of all the scientists written down. One was like Denobulin. The other one that wasn't scratched off was Betazoid. So the next clue, the clue they found in this episode did have Betazoid writing on it. So they're going to Betazoid, Beta Z, whatever, or they're going to be meeting so it is moving the plot forward. It is. So I get what you're saying, though. Peter the Kako, Sleeman Clear is not clear. It's just the Bud Light version of Sleeman Original. Feed Me Seymour, now that they have the ISS Enterprise, could be the basis of creating a new museum. We don't know what happened to the old one, getting a Connie, albeit ISS. Sure. ND Magoo, implied off-screen. Didn't mind that. What was implied off-screen? Oh. That they got the tech to work because she fixed it, I think is maybe what you're talking about. Feed Me Seymour, Tilly is an awesome character. We need more Tilly. Tilly is the heart of the show, and she was missed when she became a teacher on the bridge. But her coming back brought heart to the show once more. I agree. And they're writing her like they wrote Tilly in season 1, 2, and 3, like 1 and 2. Because last season 4, was not good for Tilly, her character, at all. But yeah. Australia is not. I don't really care if you can't stand her. That's not really like why. Who gives a shit? No one. Thank you. Taylor T, this episode wasn't bad, but probably the weakest of season 5. Agreed. 100%. Feed Me Seymour, what was the noise at the end of the episode when Discovery flies off? There's a whistling noise before fading into credits. Any thoughts? What's their whistle speak? Did you not pay attention? It's the name of the goddamn episode. Whistlespeak. A whistle travels further distance-wise. This is all explained at the beginning of the episode with why would they be whistling? Because it travels farther. It's whistlespeak. They're just whistle speaking. I don't have a universal translator. I couldn't translate it. I apologize. Taylor T, this episode wasn't bad, but probably the week. Oh, yeah, sorry, I already read that one, Taylor. Trek or not, when they first arrived on the planet and heard the newcomers whistling, I kind of half expected it to be Locke and Maul for a bit. I didn't think that at all. Although when I first heard the whistling on the ship, I thought, oh my God, it's R2-D2. These people invented R2-D2. It's confirmed. Trek or not, when they first arrived on the planet and heard the newcomers whistling. Oh, what? Why am I reading the same? Because It's fine. It's fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you? Zachary Gibbons. I just finished watching the episode. I enjoyed it. It felt Star Trek to me. I enjoy seeing them interact with other cultures. I agree. It was a good Star Trek episode. I said that at the beginning as well. Trek or not, and then they would have had to get along to avoid exposure. Text Trek is here. Hello, Text Trek. How's it going? Thomas feels like the answer to an incredibly unlikable Mary Sue Burnham was just to make her laugh and smile more and still be a Mary Sue. There are other crews on this ship. Is there any I kind of thought the same thing, honestly, because last time he called her out on it, like, why are you going? I don't think you should go. So, but we don't need shit like Mary Sue and stuff. Like those terms, I don't want them used here. So, thanks for playing. Marco, the one thing that irks me about this season is the after effects of the trill thing. Whole DS9 crew experienced it without any fuss. Yeah, but that's leading to something with Culber. They confirmed in this episode there's nothing wrong with him. This is something that has irked him. He's died, for Christ's sakes, and come back. So, I don't know. We'll get there. Feed me Seymour. Remember, Culber's body was rebuilt by mycelium, so your theory of Stamets and Culber being two sides of a coin might have weight. Kyle Swinderman, the real world reason for the change in clothes and makeup is probably someone wasn't keeping track of continuity and or they were running a lot. And if Tilly was in heavy makeup, it would sweat off. True. I mean, plus no one on the planet was made up. Like it's a pre-industrial society. It's fine. It's fine. Feed me Seymour. Talking sacrifice is more likely Stamets would die. Think about it. Culber was working on holograms with brainwaves who appear in Star Trek Online. Hologram Stamets. I know, not connect, but yeah, sure. One of them. Maybe it will be Stamets actually, because he's feeling kind of lost because the spore drive isn't being rolled out fleet-wide. He's a scientific luminary. He's not super happy with that. So yeah, I could totally see that actually. Hail Kaon. And Compier too. Kyle Swinderman. I would bet they'll use the ISS Enterprise as a training ship for the Academy show. I would hope not. Phoebe Seymour, one more clue left. Why do I get the feeling the clue will be missing? I like Stamets said, try to replicate the last piece, but didn't work. Makes me think the last piece is going to be tricky. Maybe. Australia says, I still like the cartoon ones better. The cartoon what? Feed me Seymour. Bit like Avengers Endgame to get the soul gem. A sacrifice is required, so a heavy price for the last piece of it is my theory. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Neil Hammersmith. Episode reminded me of Who Watches the Watcher. Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Maddie Lynn. When Burnham was asked if she was a god, she should have said, no, I am an angel. A red angel. Are you a god? No. Then die. Michael, if someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes. Zachary Gibbons, the only downside is I don't think she had to break the prime directive. That's the only part I thought was lazy writing. Well, they're not following up on it. Back on the ship hanging out with Tilly. Federation HQ is calling. Oh, fuck. I know, it's fine. The whole prime directive thing, the filework's been, the paperwork's been filed. It's fine. You're fine. But we found Locke and Maul. It's like, really? Is there gonna be repercussions from the prime directive break in the next episode? Probably not. Phoebe Seymour. Nobody ever noticed the rock has a control panel in it. LOL. They're not in the Indiana Jones phase of their history yet. No, it's also not on the rock itself. It is a short distance away from the rock, so it's not even connected to the rock. So nobody, even if they're mulling around there because it's a very important part or place for them, they're not necessarily going to be where the control panel is. It's not on the rock itself. So Peter the Caco, $10. Not sure if this was mentioned, but is this whole season expanded off of the one progenitor episode? Gives more weight to that TNG episode now. Got to go back and watch it. Yes, it is off the episode The Chase from TNG, which I believe is season 6. And yes, absolutely. That's always been one of my favorite TNG episodes, though. I always loved that premise. And then it was such a reveal at the time, like, oh my God, we're all like related, essentially. Never goes anywhere, never mentioned again. It's like, well, thanks. So, Trek or not, flashbacks could have been cool to see how they built the towers without exposure. Yeah, flashbacks like that would be cool. Kyle says, I bet they'll both have to sacrifice themselves while holding hands and such. Cap, if they do use the ISS as a training ship, remember me. Feed me Seymour. Hold on. I thought you said use the Discovery as a training ship. Turning the ISS Connie into like... That'd be interesting. I don't think they would do that, though. But I will remember you said that. Feed me Seymour. What would Star Trek Academy will have a new base of operations? By end of season 5, the fleet must have expanded to other space stations. Neil Hammersmith, Ghostbusters. Yes, that's what I was quoting. Matt Boardman, Red Angel, won't you be mine? I don't get it. Hold on one second. I hope you're feeling better, Matt, by the way. Trek or not, season 5 ends with the reopening of Starfleet Academy on Earth. Tie in the Tilly Show. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Kyle Swinderman, Michael's answer to the God question should have been no, because what does God need with a starship? Australia, it's not real. Just ask a flat earther, throws in $2 upper decks and a Nickelodeon one. Oh, so you like Lower Decks and Prodigy. Yeah, those are the two best of the new Star Treks, 100%. So, Vince says, season 3, episode 20. Season 6, episode 20. Seen it so many times. Yeah, so it was season 6. Good. Zensomniac. The one thing I found a bit odd this episode was that they didn't fix the other 4 towers. Sounded like they just needed a bit of maintenance. I agree. That would have made the ending much better if they had restored them. And that could have pushed the narrative on the planet as well, because they were worried that stopping the sacrifices would cause rioting and upheavals and blah, blah, blah. Where you could say, the gods said, because we didn't sacrifice these 2, all of a sudden the entire planet starts to get rain now. Yay! That would have worked. Cal Swinderman, the Nickelodeon one. It's Prodigy, sir, but some respect on the name. Put some respect on the name. Neil Hammersmith, the season also follows the Gambit plot framework as well. A little bit, yep. Cal Swinderman, I mean, it would save a lot of money, and they'd probably use it 3 or 4 times in 10 episodes, so I could see them using the ISS with the Strange New Worlds bridge with more modifications. Possibly. Interesting. Zachary Gibbons, the other 4 towers fell to ruin, probably disintegrated or at the very least beyond repair. Probably took a bit to find the final clue in the ruins of Tower 5. Then for fuck's sake, show us that. How hard is that? How hard is it? That sounded way dirtier than I meant it. Phoebe Seymour, Jonathan Frakes directing episode 9 called Lagrange Point, which is a small object affected by 2 gravitational celestial bodies. As it is the second to last episode, any thoughts on that? No. No. I don't, actually. Paul Hitchcock. Pretty sure that Red Angel comment by Matt Boardman is a reference to a song, Earth Angel, in Back to the Future. Earth Angel, won't you be mine? Okay, that's fair. Red Angel, won't you be mine? That's like a place, they play that song in every like 1950s movie. It's the epitome of the era. Yep, 1955 song by the Penguins. Purple Rain. Why are we singing Purple Rain, Trek or not? Feed Me Seymour. Iriga is the next episode. Labyrinth is title of the episode after that. Episode 9 is Lagrange Point, and final episode, Life Itself. Gestro, 1980. Finally, a Star Trek episode. First disco episode I didn't have to fast forward through. Endless drama. Dialogue that seemed forced. Interesting. So Gestro 1980 didn't have to fast forward through it. Somebody earlier in the chat said I couldn't watch it. I had to fast forward through the whole thing. Wow. Cal Swinderman, showing the other towers fall would have cost more money, and they were already reshooting, so they probably didn't want to spend the extra cut. I don't care. I don't give a flying fuck about your budget. Tell a good story. If that includes a visual that's going to cost you some money, then fucking do it. Or don't. At least have a line of dialogue that says the other ones are beyond repair. Something. I don't care. That's a piss poor excuse, especially with their digital wall that they got. You could have them recovering the piece. That's all you need. It's fine. So no. Eric Martin, it's a sing-along, so follow the bouncing ball. Australia is not real. The Discovery writers are still planning on bringing in Doctor Who. The Discovery writers are still planning on bringing in Doctor Who. Oh, writers. I don't understand. Why would they be bringing in Doctor Who? I don't get your joke. All fine now. Don't ask. Just don't ask. Ooh, so a Lagrange point, just wiki reading. There's one between the Earth and the Sun, and using the point to use less power to travel. Time travel slingshot aka Picard First Contact? Possibly. Feed Me Seymour, is Discovery returning back to the past? That would be interesting. Kyle Swinderman, oh, I agree. It's a piss poor excuse. Haha, but I assume budget was the reason. Don't care. Doesn't take you fucking much. Doesn't cost you much to write one line of dialogue saying, all the other towers are beyond repair. Okay, thank you for that interesting, very important plot point. It's one line of dialogue. Kestrel, nitpick. Why do we need to have cliches to remind us it's a hologram? Oh yeah, it bothered me too, considering it's 900-year advanced holographic technology. Yeah, that annoys me too. Peter Lukaku, why did you only get a vocal role in the last 3, 4, 5 short film? Because it was literally last minute. Like, he wanted to include it, and he's like, can you record these lines? And I'm like, sure. Don't worry. Captain Foley will be making an appearance, proper appearance at some point. But yeah, that was just voiceover. It's fine. Zachary Gibbons, hail, hail, fire and snow. Call the red angel, burn 'em we will go. Far away, forward to see. Friendly red angel, come to me. Miri. No, that's not Miri. That's and the children shall lead. Yes, that's good. I like that. That's good. You're good. It's a bad. It's fine. It's fine. Has 4 Lagrange points. Okay. I'm saying the Discovery writers are crap. I mean, yeah, but they're better this season. So, Feed Me Seymour. If Discovery does travel back to the past, I don't think all the cast would be making that journey. Maybe it's a sacrifice. One-way journey to save the future, albeit they use that in the Time Spider episode. They need to travel back to the past and just erase their fucking existence from the timeline. And that would make me happy. You know, it's not that I hate Discovery. It's just they realize they're living in the wrong future. Maybe they would fire a lot. Maybe they fired a lot in the first 2 seasons, made them actually watch track. Like track and field? You okay down there in Australia? Is the air a little thin down there? Eric Martin. It's a Polaroid one-step holographic camera. Paul Hitchcock, quick question about Trek, but not Discovery. Should Voyager get a follow-up season swan song like Next Generation had with Picard season 3? Yes. It's a simple answer. Yes. Feed Me Seymour. They have the ISS Enterprise. They could slingshot a retrofit ISS Enterprise as it's a spare ship that doesn't belong there. Do it. Zachary Gibbons, thought you might like the change up to and the children shall lead. That's the Discovery version. Cal Swinderman, I hope Captain Foley is wearing his Monster Maroon jacket with a Go Read a Book shirt underneath it, or a Democracy shirt. When you first see me now, I'll be in TOS gear. Feed Me Seymour, imagine if Chandler's Bing was on Discovery. Burnham, let's fly, Chandler, into the sun and erase this universe. Chandler's Bing. I don't know what that refers to. I'm so sorry. I need to adjust my standard and also stretch my back out for a second. Hold on. shirt. Super Sleuth. Sherlock Holmes. Dick Tracy. Isn't that awesome? Come on now. You like it. You know you do. If you don't, you're a liar. That's fine. It's voice text. Fair enough. Feed Me Seymour. I have to say, Foley and Cockian's brilliant. Packlet and Thermian's voice replication in the AI episode was spot on. Need more of the Packlet Thermian alliance. That was pretty fun. That was pretty fun. Maybe on our next Drunk Yards we'll actually do that while we're drunk. Glad you guys enjoyed that. That was fun to do. He does a much better Thermian than I do. But anyway, yeah, that was good. Anyway, so that's it for me for this episode, honestly. It was a serviceable episode of Star Trek. Pretty good for the first couple seasons of Discovery. I mean, it felt Star Trek, and that's what's important here. Could it have been better? Yep, it could have. Could have been worse? Abso-fucking-lutely. But as it is, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay, Discovery. There you go. So now we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. We don't have to talk about the episode anymore. We're at the hour mark. Isn't this where food comes into play? Usually, generally, something like that. The Reginodians. What's up, Mark? Good to see you. Feed Me Seymour. I like the episode, but I said I bet there would be filler episodes, possibly rewrite edits after being told final season. Yes, they did have some time to make some changes after they were informed it was the final season, even though they were pretty much done filming. So I think they only got an extra 20 minutes of addition to the last episode or something. I don't know. So who knows what's going on with that. Speaking of food, what Culber offered Booker looked tasty. Need a Trek cookbook. There is a Trek cookbook. It's right there, behind you. The Star Trek cookbook. It did look good. It kind of looked like cat food at first, but yeah, it's still would have been tasty. Book's reaction sold it for me when he tasted that, and he was like, yeah, that's good shit. So that there's that, you know. I need more bookshelves in this library. I'm running out of got books on the floor now. Do I need more books? No. Okay, thank you. Oh my goodness. Feed Me Seymour, a Trek cookbook. Have you ever made anything from it? If so, what was your favorite? I have never made anything from it, no. But it does exist, and I have it. Okay, dot, 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 dot. There you go. Lay down. Thank you. No, lay down. Thank you. You can relax for a little bit. We're not done yet. It's fine. Lola, stop snoring. What's wrong with you dogs? All right. I want a chimichanga with guacamole and French onion dip. I don't know if those things would go well together. Joe Brown, there's no such thing as too many books. Your lack of shelving is disturbing. It is disturbing. But don't worry. Soon, this particular desk will not be in this room, which opens up this whole wall to at least 2 other bookshelves, which will be enough. Keep watching my Shelf by Shelf series. You'll see what I'm talking about. Phoebe Seymour, gotta be a show and tell of that book. Curiosity has peaked. Australia says I've taken my government's taken Twitter to court. Oh my goodness. Mark Henson, Neelix is on the cover, right? Yes. Oh, so they have a Ferengi working in their 10 forward. Don't know if you noticed, that was a blink and you'll miss it moment. It's not a blink and you miss it moment. It was in the first episode. It was in the last episode. It was in season 3, season 4. It's not a blink and you miss it. It's we talked about it. It's a different kind of Ferengi design as well. The ears are a little bit different. We did a whole video on that actually. So yes, I did notice the Ferengi working at the bar, which I think is kind of racist, but it's fine. The Star Trek cookbook. The official cookbook from Star Trek's first chef, an exploration of Star Trek's cuisine for the Earthbound. And it is by Ethan Phillips and William J. Burns. It's food from in the show, it's food from the actors. Gok, Cardassian style with yamak sauce. Peach cobbler. Fruit juice, Fenegale's Foley. McCoy's mint julep. Cup of haggis. Oh, yes. Dr. McCoy's Tennessee smoked baked beans. Ractagino cake. Jambalian 7 World omelet. Delavian chocolates. Adanian spice pudding. Jumja. Hot fish juice. Red leaf tea. Zabo. Pancakes. Tajal and yamak sauce. El Bosch, Klingon throat stew. Rakt. Zilmkach. Klingon organ stew. Klingon skull stew with tripe. Trekyardian mead. Temerian frost. Trexian bubble juice. Saurian brandy. Romulan ale. Star Drifter. Rakera Starburst. Mareltian Savale. Maporian Ale. Klingon blood wine. Kanar. Aldebaran whiskey. Black hole. Yeah, there's a bunch. There's drinks and Vulcan mollusks. Puree of beetle. It's right there, man. Go buy it. It's probably on Amazon. Didn't know if you noticed that was a blinking out. Yeah, okay. I was just playing Supermarket Simulator, and don't get how people are obsessed with that. Matt Borman, Dorothy tried to do a Star Trek cookbook based upon her recipes, but was told that there was no market for it. Yes, I have seen pages of that, actually. I think somebody's a little bit bitter about that. But, I mean, I think rightfully so. I was going to mention that, actually, when we started talking about the cookbook thing, but decided against it. Don't look up my nose. I know. You always need new books if you've read the ones you have. There's a lot that I haven't read though, so I was figured I'd read them when I got older and had nothing to do. But as I get older, I still got shit to do. So, Feed Me Seymour. You have a lot of books from different themes and so forth. What franchise do you not own books for that you would like to? Nothing. I've got Ghost Rider book, a Rocketeer book, Jurassic Park book, Jack the Ripper, Rocketeer, Knight Rider, Forever Knight, Superman, Indiana Jones, Battletech. These are all novels, by the way, which we'll get to when we get to the novel shelf. I got Star Wars books. I've got books on Titanic, books on Sherlock Holmes, books on ancient Egypt, mythology. Everything that I'm interested in, I have books on. There's nothing that I would want to have a book on because I would goddamn well have a book on it. So, no. My sister-in-law made gach. Terrence Childs, they have replicators on board all of their ships. They do. Feed Me Seymour, I have the Hannibal TV series cookbook. Don't worry, no cannibalism required, but it's all the recipes they made for the show to replicate. A real chef created the artwork. It was good. Zachary Gibbons, how do you make Klingon blood wine? I don't know. You're going to make me pull the book out again, aren't you? Goddamn people. I don't know. Let me look. Klingon blood wine. 126, 226, and 254. So 126. Let's see, it's on 126. Klingon blood wine is exactly what it says: fermented blood and sugar. Fucking disgusting. To make an excellent recreation of Klingon blood wine, you can use straight up just cranberry from Kunsen sweetened to your own taste with Welch's pure dark grape juice. If you want to lighten the color of the cranberry juice a bit, use Welch's white grape juice. Want it to have some nice floating red corpuscles? Run fresh or frozen cranberries or red raspberries through your blender and add them to the juice. That makes it fresh and sweet the way Worf drinks it. They're also on page 226. Really simple to make on the set and at home. Use a very dark grape juice or cranberry juice, but you use a food processor, maybe a blender, or even better, a juicer like the Juice Man and fresh cranberries. Then you use the juice and cranberry residue. It looks like bloody organic tissue, very clotty, and you can even put some red jello in it to make it seem like it's clotting up even more. Again, for people who can't drink blood beverages, sorry, my dyslexia, again, for people who can't drink sugar beverages, use straight up cranberry juice, the blender mash of cranberries and sugar-free strawberries, raspberry, grape, or cherry jello that's just beginning to congeal. Okay, and there's another one, Klingon 254. Okay, you guys asked, so just... Oh, it's just a real summary. Blood wine is a composition of cranberries in a fruit drink based like cherry punch. I won't put it away because somebody's going to ask for something else. It's fine. Terrence Childs, tell me, Captain, did you pay more than $21 for that cookbook? I think I actually got this for free from somebody. Yes, Sylvia's sister, Sandra, bought me and Sylvia this. So yes, it was a gift. Georges Fungali, Foley fries. Mark Henson, my mom made tribble balls out of cotton candy and something else sticky. Phoebe Seymour, with Lower Decks ending and Prodigy being the only animated show left with an unclear future, do you think the new animated Trek show will appear in the future? Yes, I'm sure there will be one in the future. Don't know when, don't know what it's about, but yes, I would love them to do another animated one. And yes, I believe they will. Eric Martin, my basement could hold a few bookshelves. I know. Such a wasted goddamn basement. Feed me Seymour, I got it. Who reads books these days? No one. We have internet. But who else likes old styles of media? Kovich. So Foley is Kovich. I knew he'd find a way to get on the show. Australia's not real. The last episode of Discovery can be a multiverse episode where baby Lex blows up Discovery and then the shadows kill Lex. Okay. Doctor Who comes in and makes it so it never happened. Okay. Mark Henson. They need to make a new version of the cookbook and add Kirk's poutine. Donnie says, I neither hate nor despise JJ and Alex, though. Okay. Feed Me Seymour, a new animated show idea they could do of the Lost Era. I mean, it would be tricky to make the show of that era now, being tech moves on and wouldn't have the Enterprise C era design, but animated, however. The Lost Era animated series, sign me up, or dare I say, beam me up. Zachary says, does the cookbook have soup? Hot, plain tomato soup. Asking for a guy named Tom. You know what? It might not. Soup. So here we go. No, no tomato soup. Go figure. I would love to see a Lost Era show, says Mark. I agree. Feed Me Seymour, animated Lost Era with Picard on the Stargazer. Riker maybe on the Pegasus, albeit might be too late in the history. Who would play the voices of young animated Picard? I don't know. Any British git. Vince asked, do you think Paramount will end up selling to Sony? $26 billion offer has got to be tempting. Do you think Sony would be good for Trek? I don't know if they will end up going with that deal. And do I think Sony would be good for Trek? No, because they fucking mismanaged Spider-Man and a whole bunch of other shit for so many years. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who or what would be good for Trek, in all honesty. Captain Foley, have you ever seen Venom Geek Media 98 about Admiral Natchez? Not that I'm aware of. Feed Me Seymour, it would be a good idea for Sony to buy Paramount. Universal and Disney are the biggest studios, whereas there are no third their size, other than Netflix, but wouldn't want that. However, if Sony bought Paramount and Warner Brothers, they are vastly smaller in financial size and would be a platform to dominate. Thinking like a actual businessman. Sweet. Forget all that mess and just give me a martini. Plomex soup, no doubt. Plomex soup's in here, yes. Zachary Gibbons, no tomato soup. Disappointed. This Tom Paris guy is upset now. Donnie says, to be honest, I still hope Skydance Media would win the bid to buy Paramount Global and keep Star Trek. Anybody's going to keep Star Trek that buys it, so don't worry about that. What is wrong with you? Lay down. Lay down. For the love of Pete. Lay down. My goodness. Anyway, can I put this back now? Are we done with this? Finally? Vulcan apple pastry and a Vulcan's head apples, Gala apple pie, Captain Kirk's plum mix soup, 1 cup of finely chopped onion, 5 cups of chopped celery, 4 cups of peeled and chopped carrots, 1 cup or 2 sticks of butter, 1 cup of chicken broth, half a cup of heavy cream, optional, 1 teaspoon of ground pepper, salt to taste. There you go. Think about it. Sony, Warner, Paramount. So they would have Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network. It would have Star Trek, Fantasy. It would have Game of Thrones and Hogwarts. And Lord of the Rings to Gremlins. Nice. Mark Henson, I think Netflix would be better for Trek in terms of streaming. Paramount Plus just doesn't draw in the numbers Netflix does. That's no doubt why they keep canceling the shows. Rest in peace, Lower Decks. Terrence Childs, how does a Federation replicator work? It's not that difficult. Look it up. It's in the TNG technical manual. Guys, I know you all have a TNG technical manual. Uses transporter technology, essentially. Converts energy to matter, and it's simple, really. Joe Brown, Paramount Plus CEO, just got forced out with $50 million severance package. Think about how much Star Trek that would have paid for. 50 million would pay for like what? 25 episodes. I don't know what the budget is for an episode these days. Wonder if Kovic is like Gary 7. Could be. Vince says Netflix gives up on its streaming shows too quickly if they aren't named Stranger Things. Phoebe Seymour, Netflix is always a risk for easy cancellation after one season, even if the show's popular. So no to Netflix. Sorry. Paul Hitchcock, at this point, just wish the deal would happen. I think it's ultimately any new Trek gets greenlit until a sale is made. I think it's unlikely that any new Trek... Yes, exactly. Donnie says, if Sony does buy Paramount, then the former may fold CBS Studios into Sony Pictures Television and sell the remaining CBS branded assets to Apollo Global. And Apollo may end up selling its stake in Cox Media Group, minus Seattle's Kiro 7, pronounced Cairo 7, back to the Cox Enterprises. Words. You said words there. That's really good. That may lead to Cairo 7 becoming the youngest CBS owned and operated TV station. Mark Henson says, I love my technical manuals. Phoebe Seymour says, your poo becomes food. How Replicator works in a sentence. Not just your poo, any waste on the ship gets broken down into its molecular level and stored, and then yes, used again to recreate food in a replicator, which is just using essentially transporter technology to, based on a program or a schematic, if you will, of the food, and it just creates the food. It's that simple. It's not that difficult. I don't mind another Star Trek hiatus, to be honest. Yeah, I could always revive the pre-Bad Hideout era if you want to. Zachary Gibbons, yeah, 50 million doesn't get you that far in a TV production. It sounds like a lot, but it's not. It's not. Pudgecock, you know what else is in the TNG technical manual? The fact that phaser power is rated through the warp core. Take that, Commander Cockings. But I'm not holding on to old shit. I must be out of the loop on that one. You probably made a very factual statement, and he's like, no, I don't think that's how that works. That was in the motion picture. It sounds like a Samuel exchange. You know, we could look that up right now, because I have the technical manual right here. You guys and your goddamn questions. It's fine. It's fine. Replicator system. Oh my god, they're like 81. Replicator and food service conduits. Similar to the transporter beam conduits, these waveguides connect the food service and general replicator head ends to replicator terminals throughout the ship. Replicator system 90. Page 90. There we go. Recent advances in transporter-based molecular synthesis have resulted in a number of significant spin-off technologies. Chief among these are transporter-based replicators. These devices permit replication of virtually any inanimate object with incredible fidelity and relatively low energy cost. There are two main replication systems on board the Enterprise. These are the food synthesizers and the hardware replicators. The food replicators are optimized for a finer degree of resolution because of the necessity of accurately replicating the chemical composition of foodstuffs. Hardware replicators, on the other hand, are generally tuned to a lower resolution for greater energy efficiency and lower memory matrix requirements. A number of specially modified food replication terminals are used in sickbay and in various science labs for synthesis of certain pharmaceuticals and other scientific supplies. These replicator systems head ends are located on Deck 12 in the saucer module and on Deck 34 in the engineering section. These systems operate by using a phase transition coil chamber in which the measured quantity of raw material is dematerialized in a manner similar to that of the standard transporter. That's all shit I said, just in more fancy words. Instead of using molecular imaging scanner to determine the patterns of the raw stock, however, the quantum geometry transformation matrix field is used to modify the matter stream to conform to a digitally stored molecular pattern matrix. The matter stream is then routed through a network of waveguide conduits that direct the signal to the replicator terminal, at which the desired article is materialized within another phase transition chamber. In order to minimize replicator power requirements, raw stock of food replicators is stored in the form of a sterilized organic particulate suspension that has been formulated to statistically require the least quantum manipulation to replicate most finished foodstuffs. That's how a replicator works. Transporter technology and reused matter, essentially. All right. I miss UPN. Yes. They use the holodeck cum filters to make food, lol. Well, there are no filters in the holodeck. I fucking hate that. Lower decks, that annoys me so much. That's not how holodecks work. It's a funny gag. Ah ha 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 ha. The holodeck filters, what do people do in the holodecks? Ah ha ha ha, that's so fucking funny. It's not how holodecks work, and that really pissed me off when they did that. Let's clean the holodeck filters. That annoyed me. That's a reason lower decks should be canceled right there, because they broke how holodecks work. But whatever, it's fine. Trek or not, the bazaars also gather various spaceborne matter. Space is surprisingly not empty, so your replicator burger can have matter from space converted to energy, then reconverted to the burger. Yes. Phoebe Seymour, Abram Trek movies are looking less likely every year. Do you foresee the future of Trek movies to have a place in the foreseeable future? I mean, I know Section 31 is going to be a movie, but will it be? It won't be. No, I don't know. The Trek movie series like TOS 1 through 5 or TNG 1 through 6 or Abrams 1 through 3. At some point, we'll get another fresh new Trek movie, which hopefully won't be Kelvin versed. But as for Star Trek 4, I wouldn't mind seeing one, honestly. But who knows? I love Jason P. Hunt's Bring Star Trek Home to NBC idea, though. Yet it took it with a grain of salt and a little more further than before. Shout out to him and his Sci-Fi for Me TV team. Phoebe Seymour, over the past 3-4 AI episodes you've done, what was the funniest prompt that produced a story that had you laugh the most? Most or laughed? I don't know. We did have some funny moments, though. It's a good question. I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch them because I can't recall. Sorry. CBS Studios' most recent co-production for NBC was the final season of the Magnum PI reboot. Yeah. Feed Me Seymour, if Star Trek went to NBC, which is Universal, then possibly Isle of Adventure or Universal Studios could get a Trekland just saying. That would be cool. That's what we need. Donnie said, anyways, I thought this week's Discovery was almost as good as the recent 2, 8 out of 10. Okay, I think it was the worst of the season. It's a good episode of Star Trek, though, so okay. Can't wait to hear if your scores changed at the end of our live tomorrow, but cool. Zachary Gibbons, CBS also canceled NCIS Hawaii just after 3 seasons. It's getting crazy. They lure you in and pull out the rug. Speaking of CBS, I'm looking forward to the reboot of one of my favorite game shows, The Hollywood Squares. Phoebe Seymour says we want to holiday in a hotel enterprise. It's just something that has to happen in our lifetime. If not a hotel, a Trek cruise ship, USS Cruiser class could be its name. Australia says, so why would you even bother building ships? You could just build a giant replicator. What? You want to fly around in a replicator? I don't understand. You mean replicate ships? I mean, Doug Drexler is a firm believer that ships are grown, which I fucking hate that term, by the way. You don't grow something in a 3D printer. You print something in a 3D printer. It's got grow marks and grow lines. You know, you didn't fucking grow it. I'm sorry. You built it. You constructed it. Whatever. It's fine. But yes, I think in the future there would be 3D printed ship parts. 3D printed, replicated ship parts. 100%. Star Trek 4 Abrams. Only way I see it work is having a pass the torch, a recast younger Picard on Stargazer timeline. Messy anyways, but you know. The only way you can make it for 4, 5, and 6 and on. No, it's not. That's not true. I mean, it's been enough time that you could throw them in Monster Maroons. Just have it be like the movie era, the TMP era of Star Trek for that cast. I think that would be cool. So. Polishcock, I would like to see Kelvin Trek 4. The George Kirk coming back idea was interesting, and Tarantino idea is blech. Mark Henson, I want to see a movie with William Shatner as Kirk in an afterlife where the koala leads him to the great bird of the galaxy, who morphs into Gene Roddenberry, and the movie fades out and credits roll. Phoebe Seymour, always forgot where Culber is from the Spanish being spoke. I know this sounds weird, but would have been a fun Kirk nod if his native language was Esperanto. Trekkernaut, grow implies the ship is alive. No, that's what I thought too at first. No, like when you 3D print something, I grew this. It's growing on my printer right now. You didn't fucking grow it. you dickhead. You printed it. You built it. I just hate the grow thing. Kovic seems to be in a White Hollow room a lot. Reminds me of when Q brings a character out of reality into White Room to discuss that reality. Yes. Tapestries. Another reason why I suspect Kovic. Yeah, that's a good theory, man. Speaking of Netflix and Cobra Kai, I love the season 6 announcement trailer so dearly. Can't wait for the 18th of July. Zachary Gibbons, JJ Trek is dead. Just let it rest. Phoebe Seymour, you're a programmer for a scenario bridge training program like Kobayashi Maru. What would be your scenario? And what lesson is meant to be taught by it? Wow, you're fucking going deep tonight, Phoebe Seymour. I don't know. I'm not creative in any kind of way, shape, or form, so I don't know what I can't come up with something on the spot for that right now. So I apologize. I don't know. I'm done. I think that's the end. I'm just not coming up with creative answers or. Yeah, I got nothing. Would I have cheated on the Kobayashi Maru? Hell yeah, absolutely. You are a Federation ship, Beijing, a peace agreement with the Packlids and the Thermians. You are a Federation ship, being a peace agreement with guys, you are the Foley. You are the creator of Trekyards. Not wrong. Co-creator, I will say that. Although I did come up with the name. So, anyway, but yeah. On that note, I think I will leave it there, guys. If you're not subscribed to my personal channel, why the fuck not? Go subscribe to that. There are links, the links down below in the description. But yeah. Speaking of, I gotta make a video for tomorrow. A short. Oh my god. I can do that. I can do that. Watch my short tomorrow because it's going to be something from this room that I'm going to film right now as soon as I end this live. But yeah, I'm going to call it a night. Thank you guys for watching. All in all, this was probably the worst episode of this season of Discovery, but still a good episode of Star Trek in general, and pretty good for Discovery too, as well. So yeah, more like a TOS episode to me, but there you go. Rainier was the best part of it. Other than that, anyway, I will go now, and I'll see you guys in the very near future. So until next time, have yourselves a good night. I'll catch you later. Bye. Still hate that they put this over there.